Horsetails. With these plants, we have a more complex vascular system, which means the plant gets to be a little bit larger. I have seen some of these grow up to 8 to 10 feet in height in a wild environment, so they're very unique like that. They have a silica-coated stem, which means the stem itself has a lot of silica in it, which makes it very unpalatable because it's really kind of gritty, kind of sandy, and this has got to be a type of deterrent for feeding on it, and it produces spores in a terminal cone. So what you're going to look at with horsetails is very unique, and it's a very easy group to distinguish, and they're a very unique sort of plant. This is a horsetail. You can see the material coming out of the ground. Looks like a stem. There are very rudimentary leaves on it. Most of it is only stem material. The upper part of it will produce a sporophyte, and these will produce the spores that will start the whole generation all over again. These parts are called strobila. They look like little cones, but they really aren't cones. If you section one down, you can see what it looks like on the inside. You can see how it's got tissue that is much more organized in there. And then on the outside of it, you've got the little spores that get produced, and the little spores are going to drop off and start the production of new plants. This is a cross section of one of them, and you can see where it's producing lots and lots of little spores in there. So it produces a multitude of spores in order to be able to maintain the generations. There is a division between the haploid part and the diploid part. Up to this point, we're talking about vegetative material, which is diploid. Haploid means we're getting into sexual reproduction. Over here on the haploid point, this is what a spore will germinate into. We are going to again call this a thallus because it is a rudimentary plant body. It isn't really differentiated. And on it you find oogonia and antheridia. The antheridia will produce the sperm that fertilizes the oogonium, and then from the oogonium you will get the zygote, and the zygote will start the production of a new plant. So it's a very unique sort of thing that looks like that. And then you're going to get new plants. This is a colony of plants, so to speak, and you can see a lot of them. They reproduce vegetatively very easily. You can see the nodes, and on the nodes you can see the leaves wrapped around in whorls, and you're going, that doesn't look like leaves. No, it does not look like leaves, but they are actually the leaves. It's a very small kind of leaf, rudimentary type of leaf, and most of the photosynthetic area is actually the stem. It branches, which means you can reproduce this asexually. If you cut this off below the node, you stick that into the ground, you will get a new plant from it. So they do reproduce asexually fairly easily. Here again, we've got a branching sort of scenario, and again, not much leaf material on it, but we do have branching occurring in there. And over here you can see branching. Again, you can see how it's coming out in a whorled nature around each node. When we look at horsetails, horsetails are a very unique group, a lot of silica in them. They live in moist environments. They do very well. They get up to 8 to 10 feet in height, so they are rather unique like that, but the silica basically would make them unpalatable. In certain areas of the world, they actually take horsetails, they crunch them down, they treat them specially, and out of it they take the silica strands, which they use in order to polish wood, because it gives you a much finer polish than you would get off of something like steel wool.